So, is it possible to manage refurbishments far away from where you live? But before we get into that, if you're new to this channel, make sure you stroke that like and subscribe button. Really helps out the algorithms, and you'll get notified with more content like this and other videos all around property investing mindset. It's one of the biggest questions I get posed all the time. How do you manage the refurbishments if you invest in a remote location? So I'm Harvey, I'm a remote property investor, and I'm being very remote with my investing this week or this month because I'm spending a month in Holland. And what I spend this month in Holland, just because I'm in Holland, it does not mean everything stops in my business and it all grinds to a halt and I stop doing anything and I say, okay, I'll get back to things when we get back. We're just completing a property last Friday. The refurbishment is underway. It's all, the cogs are in place. I think it's starting. So they've been out, the builders. We had a delay, so we couldn't really line the builders up. We had them lined up and you had a bit of delay. I've got 5 deals in legals. I'm working with architects and another builder on this big conversion of the 7-bedroom guest house. So can I answer the question, can a refurb be managed? Can property be managed? Can this be done remotely? The answer is 100% yes. I'm in Holland at the moment. I think it's 500 miles away. I stuck it into the Google Maps and it spat out the answer, 520 miles. I think it might be further. I think that's just the driving, not including the boat trip or the train trip. But either way, it 100% can be managed remotely. Everything you can do in person can be done remotely. Don't get me wrong, I was having this conversation with somebody earlier on, and they were saying that we looked at Manchester, I'm from London, but the thought of driving 4 hours in a car and getting told by the agent the property's been sold because you're on your way there to view it is not appealing. We're stuck to doing it at home, and we stuck to doing flats. But again, I said, look, horses for courses. I'm not saying this strategy is for absolutely everybody. It's not appealing to me to do flats because of the leaseholds, the high turnover of tenants. But that's just for me. If it works for somebody else, that works for them. I do not judge anybody. I'm not saying this way's right or that way's right. But I said a few of the things to think about also is yeah, I'm not a fan of driving 4 hours away to get some viewings done, but that's why you set up a remote team to be able to do it for you. Agents will do viewings for you over the phone now, and they will do a video viewing for you, and what you can do then is offer on the property and say it's subject to me turning up. And same again with the building. So you get your building spec done, you get your builder out to the property, you can get them to walk around the property on a video call. It's not high safe, how you doing, mate? Get them to walk around on a video call. 100% it's not as good as walking around in person, but 100% it's better than not doing nothing whatsoever. So this is what you have to be faced when you're managing a remote refurb. There is definitely trade-offs and challenges that you've got to make peace with from day one. But don't get me wrong, you've got to make peace with challenges in refurbs, even if it's remote or it's far away. But you just got to make peace that there is a little bit more of a vulnerability to it when you're far away. And this is why I call it the KISS refurbishment strategy. This is a keep it simple, stupid. It's an acronym from the Navy SEALs. It was founded in the 1960s by not Navy SEALs, but the US Navy. I say if you're going to invest remotely, keep the first refurbs you do between sort of like 5 and 15k, because things will go wrong. They do go wrong. They go wrong when you're experienced. And by the way, being experienced, having a fantastic network, having a lot of knowledge does not make you immune from mistakes and things going wrong and challenges coming. What it does is it gives you the expertise, the network and the resources to be able to navigate these challenges really, really quick. So they don't disappear when you get a lot of experience. They don't disappear when you get a lot of money. They're there. They're actually there in tenfold. They come even more. The bigger and more successful you get, the more challenges you have to deal with. I heard a guy, Ryan Pincher, it was saying the level of people's success is often directly in correlation with the level of tension they can hold. So like if you imagine like a band, if you pull that the more tension you can handle and the more you can pull that tension, the more bigger your business will be. And it's exactly the same as if you went to the gym. If you kept on practicing, pulling that tension, practicing, you can pull that further and further each time. It's the same as what you can take on as you grow your business, as you get more successful in your business. It's not to say it's not hard anymore. It's not to say the challenges are not there. It's just to say that you will be able to navigate them a lot quicker. But as I said, if you're going to do this remotely, if you're going to manage refurbishments remotely, you definitely got to make peace with. There might be a few little trade-offs. Really good friend of mine as well was saying about don't do it remotely. He'd done a video on as well saying, let's name no names, but he'd done a video saying worktops look like they've been cut by teeth, bath was put in the wrong place. I've had all these things. I've had all these things go wrong on my properties, but this is how I've sort of justified it in my head. Now I've worked it out. So I work out, okay, I have a few things going. So I've turned up to properties and baths have been put in the wrong place. A bathroom got put in the wrong place. I had a remote refurb once, and what it was a 2-bedroom and the bathroom was ginormous. So we said, okay, let's move the bathroom into the front large bedroom, make a small bathroom, and we'd have 3 small doubles. And they'd all been small doubles, but because you got 3 doubles, you'd have got a way of making it into a 3-bedroom. What I've done is I've turned up afterwards, I've given him the instruction, I've turned him up after, and these are lessons I've learned along the way to keep an eye on these a little bit differently. But I've turned up afterwards, and he's created the extra small room, but he's left the bathroom where it was, and it's all finished, all carpeted, everything. And I was like, wow, the bathroom's meant to be here. And then it was really, really difficult to let out because it was 2 small doubles and 1 single room. So it really created a difficulty in letting it out. But guess what? It did let. Guess what? It did revalue. Did it revalue for quite as much? No, but it still revalued. So I still had profit from this deal. If I then thought to myself, okay, I'm only going to do it locally so I can keep an eye on the bath being put in the right place, guess what would have happened? Nothing would have happened because I wouldn't have been able to afford the deposit to buy a property locally. So you have to weigh up these trade-offs. The barrier to entry, the financial barrier to entry is way worth the trade-off of maybe a builder costing me an extra £1,000 on a job, or even £2,000 on a job. Spending £2,000 more is better than having no job whatsoever. So, weighing up, do I prefer a bit of a drive or do I prefer properties I'm not going to tie up a large amount of money in? So I'm just talking about vanilla single let buy to lets. So as a general rule, single let buy to lets in and around London do not really work. So if you're going to buy them, you're going to probably tie up the best part of about 80, 100k. You might earn yourself £400 a month, but when you work that out on return on capital employed, it's something like it's under 10%, put it that way. Your net yield is probably like 2%, and then you've got to save up another 80, 100k. So I don't know about you, but even for me, I'm not saving up 80, 100k to buy new houses to earn £400 a month very quickly. And the capital growth's not even there anymore to be able to do that in the south. So just another quick reminder, if you're enjoying this, please give this a like, smash the subscribe button. It really helps the algorithms with this, push it out there and give me an understanding knowing that you are liking this and I'll make more content like this. Again, you weigh that up, like, okay, instead of raising 80 to 100k, cut an hour's drive or raise 20, like 15, 20k for it and be able to recycle a large lump of my money out. And even if I didn't recycle my money out, let's say you got a down valuation, you didn't recycle your money out, you're leaving like 15, 20 K's in these, maybe 30k at a push. That is much more easy to recover from and save up again, especially seeing even with, like, I run the numbers on some of these. The return on capital employed on some of these deals are like 15, 20% before you even refinance them. So if you're earning 15 or 20% on your money, you can't refinance it. It's the worst case scenario because you've got a down valuation. Then that's something you can live with. That's something I can live with anyway. And that's what you've always got to measure when you're doing business, property, anything. You've got to look at what is a downside risk to this, and can I live with a downside? I don't want the downside. It don't mean you have to want the downside, but it's just, if the worst case scenario happens, can I manage that downside risk? Can I live with that? Am I okay with it? Can I manage that downside? And if you can't, then don't do the deal. Like, if that downside is okay, it's going to leave me in development finance that is £2 a month and I can't afford that £2 a month, and I'll just put myself down as a personal guarantor and they're going to come after my personal home, then I probably wouldn't do that, you know. Don't risk the shirt off your back. It depends who you are, where you are, your journey, but you might be like young in your early 20s or in your late teens, and your shirt is literally shirt because you live with your parents, you're risking nothing. But in general, only risk what you are not comfortable with, but what you can manage that risk, so you can fight your way out of that. And again, this is why I say keep it simple, stupid on the refurbishments when you're doing them remotely, because you want to build up a team, you want to build up a power team. Even for me, look, we've got refurb on at the moment. The last one we just finished, the builder on the day of starting, we had to like stop with him and find somebody new. And where the builders are so busy at the moment, we've got a good network, we've had to scramble around, pull it in-house. But because we've got a network, because we've got good resources and a good team, we could do that. It did take us a little bit longer, but that trade-off again is really worth having. It would take a little bit longer. It's better than having no property whatsoever, you know. So yeah, but that could have happened locally as well. And I've had many challenges. I've had the same challenges locally as I've had remotely. But some of the little tips, what you want to do when you're managing remotely is get regular check-ins. So if you say things like this to your builder, like, okay, what I would like to do is, if that was around the corner from me, I'm miles away. So, and you say it in a soft tone, you say, I'm miles away, surely you understand. It's a bit nervous, like, spending all this money on the property that I'm miles away from, that I can't physically touch or walk into. So if I was there, I'd be popping in every day. You don't mind if I give you a little FaceTime call every day, just have a little walk around, see what you're up to, see what the progress is, and say, be fair, I've had many builders that can do the job well, because this is one of the things you'll come across. If a builder secures a job with you, and you say, yeah, okay, and you pay him an upfront deposit to do the work, if he gets a job in between then, he has got a higher temptation to take on the job in between and squeeze it in between your job, because you've already paid him a deposit, he's already secured that work. So then somebody says, oh, can you squeeze this in? And he thinks, oh, wow, we could quickly fit a boiler today and earn ourselves £1,000. Then I might have the temptation to go and do that, especially if they know you're not there seeing when they're on site. So that's why you ask for daily updates, and you explain to them openly. Say, yeah, I had a builder before, he was squeezing loads of jobs in, it was great, his job was good, but a job that should have took 3 weeks took us 3 months, and it's because he was squeezing other stuff in. So yeah, if I just have updates, if I was on site, and if you explain it in a soft tone like that, if the builder says, no, you can't ring me up every day via WhatsApp call or FaceTime call, that's a bit of a red flag, to be honest, you know. I've never had a builder say, no, I'm not doing that. Oh, someone said to me before, oh, sure, it's a chew. That is a northern saying, but it's a chew on for the builder. And of course it's not. You'd walk in, the builder would spend the same time with you if you walked on site as you would if you was on the phone. It's no different. You can't see everything from the phone, but you can get a good idea, and the main thing you can see is if they're on site. But again, if you've got a good schedule of works where you say, like, hey, this is our milestone, I'm going to pay you on these set milestones, and this is where I expect this to be done at this time. If you've got that good schedule of work, you can phone up and to see you on track, say, oh, did that get done on that schedule? Okay, we just plan to do that on that day. And you can sit with your builder and build that schedule of work out. It's on a spreadsheet. You can just go, okay, yeah, we want that done by that day, that done by that day, that done by that day. Is it realistic? If it's not, you tell me what is realistic, so you're not trying to push them. And then you just tick it along, and each day you phone up, you say, you get the spreadsheet out, say, I've got the spreadsheet here, are we on there, and it manages their expectations, because they've already prior agreed. As I said, I haven't said this, sorry. By the way, do not go into new builders saying, well, I want to schedule work, a day-by-day call. When you first meet them, builders are in massive demand. So what you want to do is build a bit of rapport with them, show them that you're going to be sort of a decent investor to work with. Because equally, in the defence of builders, they're very wary of working with investors also, purely because a lot of investors can be demanding. That's why you don't want to be too demanding at the front end. You want to build rapport before you put demands in. And number two, some investors don't pay very well, you know, so you've got to build some trust, vice versa, back with those. So what you want to do is build rapport, get some touch points, get along with them. Again, if you build your personal brand and profile and get your builder onto seeing that, like, friend request him online, engage with him online, if he sees your profile, especially if you're being active in the property world, he'll see you're a bit more credible by that and would want to work with you a little bit more. Because one of the things, builders got to have a trade-off. Like most, or if not all, investors want a cheaper price than retail customers. So builders have to work out, why would I want to give them a discounted price when I can go and get a retail customer? Especially today, there's tons of retail customers. So what I have to do is think, all right, he's going to give me consistent, reliable work, not mess me about with payments, and he's going to, and he's a decent guy. So if you can get them onto your profile online, they can see you consistently been doing work, and you've got work, and you're active in the property game, and they can get a little bit of feel for you and your personality. This will help bridge that gap towards you then potentially putting in a few more of your conditions at a later date. But you want to build up them rapport and touch points. You also want to get them to get out and quote first, so they're a little bit more time committed. Then you start saying, okay, can I have updates like this? Do you mind if we sort of put it all in writing? Do you mind if this? And then you start adding your bits to it, and this is the payment scheme. And then you don't get demanding, but you put in a few more of your demands, if that makes sense. But remember, if you don't evolve your ideas, you're never going to live on your own terms. So evolve your ideas, live on your own terms. Have a fantastic day.